I think I found a dinosaur. Those were the words of Joe Davis, who works at Rutland Water.
The book of Revelation warns that the Euphrates River will one day dry up, a prophecy that was long considered symbolic. However, as this ancient waterway continues to shrink at an alarming rate, many are beginning to wonder if these biblical warnings are becoming a reality before our eyes. A shocking discovery beneath its receding waters has left scientists puzzled and believers deeply unsettled. Could this be undeniable proof of divine intervention? The Bible links the Euphrates River to fallen angels and the rise of a dark force foretold for centuries. Whispers of an impending revelation have spread as researchers stumbled upon something truly unsettling within the river's exposed bed. What was once hidden beneath the depths has now emerged. An enormous skeletal structure, eerily resembling a colossal serpent. The sheer magnitude of the bones defies explanation, surpassing the size of any known species. This baffling discovery has led to rampant speculation. Some scientists theorize that the remains could belong to an ancient, unidentified species that roamed the earth in a prehistoric age, while others wonder if it could be the fossilized remnants of a long-extinct giant serpent from an era lost to history. Yet not everyone sees this as merely a fascinating scientific anomaly. Religious historians and theologians are viewing this discovery through a very different lens. Could this skeleton be tied to the great creatures spoken of in ancient texts? Or does it signal something even more ominous? A link to the forces of darkness. Some believe this is a direct warning, a tangible sign of something greater unfolding in our time. One particularly chilling theory suggests that these remains could belong to a species that thrived in an ancient world, vastly different from the one we know today. But an even more alarming interpretation connects this serpent to biblical prophecy. Serpents have long been symbols of deception, destruction, and chaos, often associated with dark, malevolent forces. In the book of Genesis, the serpent played a crucial role in humanity's downfall, acting as the instrument of Satan to tempt Eve into disobedience. The book of Revelation also describes a terrifying entity, the great dragon, identified as Satan himself, who will rise to deceive the nations. Could this uncovered skeleton serve as a terrifying sign, pointing toward the fulfillment of these ancient warnings? The drying of the Euphrates has already been linked by many biblical scholars to the signs of the end times. Now, with this eerie revelation, some fear that something even more sinister is unfolding before our very eyes. Is this a message from heaven? Why, after all these centuries, would the remains of a giant serpent suddenly appear beneath the Euphrates? The presence of this mysterious skeleton raises far more questions than answers. If this were merely an ancient creature, why has no record of such a species ever been found before? Some theologians believe that this is not a coincidence. Throughout history, the Euphrates River has been directly linked to divine intervention and judgment. Its significance in biblical prophecy is undeniable. Could the sudden appearance of such a perplexing relic be an intentional sign from God, demanding our attention? Before we dive deeper into this mystery, take a moment to tap that like button, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends. Now let's continue uncovering the deeper meaning behind these astonishing discoveries. Throughout the Bible, serpents have been powerful symbols representing deception, sin, divine judgment, and even spiritual warfare. From the story of Adam and Eve to the apocalyptic visions of Revelation, snakes have been associated with chaos and destruction. The discovery of this massive serpent skeleton in the Euphrates may hold a much deeper meaning, possibly revealing long-lost battles between divine and fallen beings. The most infamous biblical reference to a serpent appears in Genesis, where Satan took the form of a snake to deceive Eve, leading to humanity's fall from grace. Genesis 3:1-5 describes how this pivotal moment introduced sin and death into the world, forever altering the course of history. As a result of this deception, God cursed the serpent, condemning it to slither upon the earth in eternal humiliation. Genesis 3:14. If the skeletal remains found in the Euphrates truly belonged to an enormous serpent from an ancient age, could it serve as a chilling reminder of the original betrayal, the first act of rebellion against God? Serpents also played a significant role in the time of Moses. In Numbers 21, 6 through 9, when the Israelites turned away from God, venomous snakes were sent as a form of divine judgment. Many perished, but those who looked upon the bronze serpent raised by Moses were miraculously healed. This paradoxical symbol, where the serpent represented both punishment and salvation, foreshadowed Christ's crucifixion, where he would be lifted up to redeem humanity. However, the most terrifying biblical connection between serpents and prophecy is found in Revelation. Here, Satan is referred to as the great dragon, the ancient serpent who deceives the entire world. Revelation 12:9. This transformation of the snake into a dragon represents the culmination of evil forces at work in the final days. Could the sudden emergence of this skeleton be a warning that these end-time prophecies are approaching fulfillment? But this isn't the only astonishing discovery tied to the Euphrates River. As the water continues to recede, another hidden relic has surfaced, one that has left archaeologists and historians equally stunned. On the opposite side of the river, locals uncovered an ancient, corroded sword buried beneath layers of silt and rock. The weapon, encrusted in rust and sediment from centuries of erosion, stood out not only for its remarkably preserved state, but also for its sheer size, which dwarfed most known swords from antiquity. Experts quickly realized that this was no ordinary weapon. Its unusual design and immense proportions did not match any known swords from the region. As word of the discovery spread, speculation ran rampant. Was this an artifact from a long-forgotten civilization? Or could it be something far more legendary? Some began to wonder, could this be the sword of Goliath? As news of the sword reached biblical scholars and researchers, their interest intensified. The details surrounding its massive size, its unusual location, and its mysterious composition led to growing speculation that this weapon could be linked to one of the most well-known battles in biblical history, the legendary duel between David and Goliath. According to 1 Samuel 17:45-51, Goliath was a fearsome Philistine warrior, a giant who terrorized the armies of Israel. Standing before the Israelites, he issued a challenge: one-on-one combat with any man willing to face him. While King Saul and his soldiers cowered in fear, a young shepherd named David stepped forward. Armed with nothing but a sling and 5 smooth stones, he declared that he fought in the name of the Lord. With a single, well-aimed strike, David's stone sank into Goliath's forehead, bringing the giant to the ground. But David didn't stop there. He rushed forward, seized Goliath's own massive sword, and used it to behead him, securing an incredible victory for Israel. But if this newly discovered weapon truly is Goliath's legendary sword, how did it find its way to the Euphrates River, far from the land of Israel? Many theories have been proposed to explain this mystery. Some suggest it was lost in the chaos of ancient battles, carried across vast distances by conquerors or looters. Others believe that it was hidden away for centuries, only now emerging as the river dries, revealing secrets buried for millennia. But could there be a deeper, more prophetic meaning behind this discovery? Stay with us as we continue to uncover the astonishing secrets of the Euphrates River and their possible connections to biblical prophecy. The Euphrates River has long been a crucial geographical landmark, shaping the course of human history for millennia. In the ancient world, its fertile lands became the heart of thriving civilizations, with numerous empires waging wars to seize control of its life-giving waters. It is entirely possible that the recently discovered sword found beneath the riverbed was once a prized weapon carried into battle, only to be lost in the chaos of war. Over the centuries, as battles raged and kingdoms fell, this weapon may have been swallowed by the river, sinking beneath layers of silt and time. However, another theory presents an even more intriguing possibility, one that connects this mysterious sword to the Israelites. When the Babylonians launched their devastating assault on Jerusalem, they not only destroyed Solomon's temple, but also plundered its sacred artifacts. Some believe that among these looted treasures was none other than Goliath's legendary sword, taken eastward as spoils of war. If this is true, the weapon may have been abandoned, buried, or intentionally hidden in an undisclosed location near the Euphrates to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. Some biblical historians propose that Israelite priests or warriors, desperate to preserve their sacred relics, may have concealed the sword in a secret location, fearing its desecration. Over the centuries, shifting landscapes, floods, and the changing course of the river may have gradually buried it beneath layers of earth and stone. Could its recent emergence be more than just a historical curiosity? Many believe that the sword's discovery at this precise moment is not a coincidence, but a deliberate sign from God. With the Euphrates River drying up, fulfilling the prophecy of Revelation 16:12, this revelation may be part of a divine sequence of events heralding the final days. Goliath was no ordinary warrior. According to 1 Samuel 17:4, he stood at an astonishing height of over 9 feet, a towering giant who instilled fear in all who faced him. His immense size and formidable strength have led many to believe that he was not purely human, but rather a descendant of an ancient race of beings shrouded in mystery, the Nephilim. The Nephilim remain one of the most debated and enigmatic figures in biblical history. They are mentioned in Genesis 6:4, which states, "The Nephilim were on the earth in those days," and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. This passage has puzzled theologians for centuries. Who were these sons of God? And why did their union with human women result in offspring, described as mighty and powerful, so unlike ordinary men? Many scholars believe that the sons of God refer to fallen angels, spiritual beings who rebelled against divine order and corrupted the human race by producing unnatural offspring. These hybrid beings were not just physically dominant. They were said to possess immense intelligence, influence, and strength. While some texts portray them as mighty warriors, others associate them with destruction, wickedness, and the corruption of humanity. Some researchers argue that the Nephilim's existence posed such a great threat to the world that it was one of the key reasons God sent the Great Flood, to cleanse the earth of their influence and restore humanity's purity. But if the flood was meant to wipe them out, how could Goliath, a giant warrior from the Philistine army, have existed? Goliath's size and abilities have fueled speculation that he was not just an unusually large man, but rather a surviving remnant of the Nephilim. The Bible provides additional evidence of giants long after Noah's time. In Numbers 13:33, when the Israelite spies explored the Promised Land, they reported, "We saw the Nephilim there. The descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them." These giants, known as the Anakim, were believed to be descendants of the Nephilim and their presence persisted even after the flood. Further proof of their continued existence can be found in 2 Samuel 21:15-22, where David and his warriors fought against more giants from Goliath's lineage. This strongly suggests that the Nephilim bloodline endured through generations, resurfacing in figures like Goliath. But what if Goliath's connection to the Nephilim goes beyond mere ancestry? What if his weapon, now unearthed from the depths of the Euphrates, is tied to an even greater prophecy? If Goliath was indeed a Nephilim, and his sword has now emerged from the Euphrates River, could there be a profound spiritual significance to this location? The Euphrates is not just any river. It has long been associated with supernatural events, divine judgment, and biblical prophecy. It is a river of both blessing and destruction, a boundary between civilizations, and a site of powerful encounters between good and evil. One of the most chilling prophecies in the book of Revelation concerns the Euphrates and the beings said to be imprisoned beneath its waters. Revelation 9:14-15 states, "Release the 4 angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates." And the 4 angels who had been kept ready for this very hour and day and month and year were released to kill 1/3 of mankind. This passage describes a terrifying event, the unleashing of 4 fallen angels who have been bound for a specific moment in history. These beings, once part of God's divine order, rebelled and were cast down, imprisoned beneath the river to await their appointed time of release. The discovery of a massive sword, possibly linked to Goliath, within the Euphrates raises profound questions. Could it be connected to the fallen angels imprisoned in its depths? If the Nephilim were indeed the offspring of fallen angels, and their influence persisted long after the flood, could this relic serve as undeniable evidence of their existence? More importantly, does its discovery indicate that their time of release is drawing near? And what of the colossal serpent skeleton found in the Euphrates? Could this be more than just an ancient fossil? Could it too be linked to the fallen angels bound beneath the river? Revelation 9:14-15 warns of supernatural entities waiting to be released. Some believe that these fallen beings, possibly the Watchers, mentioned in the book of Enoch, once roamed the earth, corrupting humanity and introducing forbidden knowledge. Ancient texts and myths speak of creatures far beyond human understanding: serpents, dragons, and other unnatural beings believed to be the result of tampering with creation. The Nephilim, described as giants and hybrids, were one example. Could monstrous creatures, such as enormous serpents, have also existed during this time? During the timing of these discoveries, both the giant serpent skeleton and Goliath's sword, alongside the drying of the Euphrates River, has only deepened the mystery. Many believe this is no mere coincidence. Prophecies warn that as the river dries, monumental events will unfold, leading to the final battle between good and evil. Biblical warnings have long foretold that deception will be a key sign of the last days. If Satan is described as the great dragon, the deceiver of the world, could the appearance of an enormous serpent skeleton be a dire warning? Is it an indication that spiritual warfare is manifesting in the physical realm? The fallen angels, known as the Watchers in the book of Enoch, were said to have defied divine law, spreading corruption and forbidden knowledge. Some believe that these imprisoned angels beneath the Euphrates are remnants of that original rebellion, awaiting their moment to rise again. As the river continues to dry, many wonder, are we on the brink of witnessing these ancient prophecies unfold? Could we be approaching the time of their release? If so, their return will bring not just chaos, but the ultimate battle between light and darkness. The world is in turmoil. Everywhere we look, Chaos seems to be unfolding. Wars erupting in different corners of the globe, natural disasters striking with increasing frequency, mysterious diseases spreading, and economies teetering on the brink of collapse. All of these events mirror the warnings laid out in biblical prophecy, specifically those concerning the end of days. Now, with the Euphrates River drying up at an alarming rate, unexplained discoveries surfacing, and rising tensions across nations, many are beginning to wonder, are we witnessing the gradual fulfillment of the chilling prophecies foretold in the book of Revelation? The Bible speaks of a time before the return of Jesus Christ when the forces of darkness will rise, seeking to deceive and enslave humanity in their final bid for control. It warns that a figure known as the Antichrist will emerge, presenting himself as a savior, offering false hope and solutions to a desperate world. Could the imminent release of the 4 fallen angels bound beneath the Euphrates be the catalyst for this great deception? A blood moon, a celestial warning? Adding to the growing unease surrounding recent events, an ominous celestial occurrence is set to take place. A total lunar eclipse, often referred to as a blood moon, is expected on March 14th. Throughout history, civilizations have viewed blood moons as powerful omens, warning of great upheavals, divine judgment, and supernatural shifts in the world. The ancients watched the skies with both awe and trepidation, believing that such cosmic events were messages from the heavens. But what makes this particular blood moon even more unsettling is its eerie timing. It coincides with the rapid drying of the Euphrates River, an event prophesied in the book of Revelation, as well as the shocking discovery of a massive serpent skeleton embedded within the exposed riverbed. Could these be signs that we are witnessing prophecy unfold in real time? The Bible has long associated celestial disturbances with end-time events. The prophet Joel directly connects a blood-red moon to the coming of the great and terrible day of the Lord, declaring, "The sun will be turned to darkness, and the moon to blood before the great and dreadful day of the Lord comes." Joel 2:31. A similar description appears in Revelation, where the opening of the 6th seal unleashes catastrophic events upon the world. I watched as he opened the 6th seal. There was a great earthquake. The sun turned black like sackcloth made of goat hair, and the whole moon turned blood red. Revelation 6:12. These passages suggest that a blood moon, when coupled with natural disasters, signals the onset of divine judgment. While skeptics dismiss lunar eclipses as routine astronomical occurrences, believers understand that biblical prophecy warns of celestial signs as harbingers of much greater events. Throughout time, blood moons have coincided with pivotal historical and biblical events, leading many to believe that they serve as markers of divine intervention. Some of the most notable occurrences include 1493 to 1494. A series of blood moons followed the expulsion of Jews from Spain, marking a major shift in Jewish history. 1949 to 1950. A tetrad of blood moons appeared around the time of Israel's rebirth as a nation, fulfilling one of the most significant biblical prophecies. 1967 to 1968. Another blood moon sequence coincided with the Six-Day War, when Israel recaptured Jerusalem, a moment of great prophetic significance. Could the upcoming March 14th blood moon be another link in this chain of prophetic events? What makes this lunar event even more unsettling is its alignment with other recent discoveries that eerily match biblical warnings. The drying of the Euphrates River. Revelation 16:12 explicitly prophesies that the Euphrates will dry up to prepare the way for the kings of the east, an event tied to the final battle of Armageddon. Today, reports confirm that the river is shrinking at an unprecedented rate, accelerating faster than previously predicted. The discovery of a giant serpent skeleton. Scientists investigating the drying riverbed of the Euphrates have uncovered the skeletal remains of an enormous snake-like creature. Given that the serpent is a powerful symbol of Satan in the Bible, this discovery has left many believers deeply unsettled. Could this be a supernatural sign of what is to come? The imprisoned fallen angels. Revelation 9:14-15 speaks of 4 fallen angels bound beneath the Euphrates River, awaiting their appointed time to be released. Their purpose? To bring devastation upon the earth, leading to the deaths of a third of mankind. Could these recent celestial and terrestrial events indicate that their release is drawing near? When analyzed together, these occurrences paint a chilling picture. The vanishing river, the unearthing of the ancient serpent, and the approaching blood moon all appear to be aligning with biblical prophecy. Are we standing at the threshold of a major apocalyptic event? Some prophecy watchers believe that celestial signs are God's way of issuing warnings before monumental shifts take place on Earth. Could this lunar eclipse be signaling that we are on the verge of something catastrophic, a devastating war, a global economic collapse, or even the rise of the Antichrist? As the world grows darker, both spiritually and geopolitically, many believe that we are living in the closing chapters of biblical prophecy. The Bible warns that before Christ's return, there will be undeniable signs, wars and rumors of wars, deception on an unprecedented scale, plagues and disasters, and even signals in the heavens. With the Euphrates River drying up, the emergence of the mysterious serpent skeleton, and the March 14th blood moon looming, one urgent question remains. Are we witnessing a divine warning from God? And if so, are we prepared for what comes next? The Euphrates River is one of the most significant waterways in the world, stretching 1,740 miles through Turkey, Syria, and Iraq, serving as a lifeline for nearly 60 million people. However, recent reports confirm that this once mighty river is vanishing at an alarming rate. Many attribute this to climate change, overuse of water resources, and shifting weather patterns. Yet, for those who study biblical prophecy, the drying up of the Euphrates is not merely an environmental crisis. It is a direct fulfillment of Revelation 16:12. The sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up, to prepare the way for the kings of the east. This verse has long been interpreted as a prelude to God's final judgment, a sign that the world is nearing the point of no return. Of course, scientists offer a rational explanation for the river's decline. Studies indicate that the Euphrates' annual water flow has dropped to nearly half of what it once was. Climate shifts and over-extraction of water resources have played a significant role in this drastic change. But could this be more than just a climate event? Could it be a divinely orchestrated sign, warning humanity of what lies ahead? While skeptics dismiss these occurrences as coincidences, many prophecy watchers are convinced that we are witnessing the unfolding of events that have been foretold for thousands of years. With each passing day, it becomes harder to ignore the eerie alignment of celestial, geological, and supernatural signs. If the Euphrates drying up is a warning, if the giant serpent skeleton is an omen, and if the blood moon is a signal from the heavens, then we must ask ourselves, are we truly ready for what's coming? The world is changing. Prophecy is unfolding. The question is, are we paying attention? The Euphrates River, once a mighty lifeline for ancient civilizations, now dwindles into a ghost of its former self. For centuries, it flowed with strength, nourishing the lands of Mesopotamia and supporting the rise and fall of great empires. But today, its waters recede at an alarming rate, exposing secrets buried beneath its depths for thousands of years. As the world watches in disbelief, prophecy watchers, historians, and theologians alike are beginning to wonder, is this merely a natural occurrence, or is something far greater unfolding before our eyes? The Euphrates is no ordinary river. Mentioned repeatedly in biblical scripture, it has long been associated with divine intervention, judgment, and the unfolding of prophecy. Throughout history, kingdoms have risen and fallen along its banks, and battles have been fought over its waters. But never before has it faced such a rapid and mysterious decline. Some scientists attribute its drying to climate change, excessive water usage, and regional droughts. They argue that human activity has drained the river faster than nature can replenish it. But for those who look beyond the physical, the fading river represents something far more profound, the fulfillment of an ancient warning foretold in the book of Revelation. The Bible states in Revelation 16:12, "The sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings of the east." This passage has long been interpreted as a sign of the end times, a prelude to the great battle of Armageddon. And now, as the riverbed cracks and the earth swallows what little water remains, many believe the stage is being set for something monumental. As the Euphrates retreats, it is not just dry land that emerges from its depths. Forgotten relics and unexplained discoveries are now coming to light. In recent months, archaeologists and researchers have stumbled upon artifacts that defy explanation. Some are remnants of lost civilizations, while others seem to hold far greater significance. Among the most astonishing finds was the skeleton of an enormous serpent-like creature, unearthed from the riverbed's silty remains. Its size defies the known limits of any species ever recorded, leading many to question its origins. To believers, the discovery is more than just an archaeological mystery. It is a chilling sign. In the Bible, serpents are not just creatures of the earth. They are deeply symbolic of deception, chaos, and evil. From the Garden of Eden, where Satan took the form of a serpent to tempt humanity into sin, to the book of Revelation, where the devil is described as the great dragon, the image of the serpent has always been linked to dark and powerful forces. Could this unearthed skeleton be a message? A warning that these forces are once again at work in the world? Perhaps the most terrifying prophecy linked to the Euphrates is that of the four fallen angels who, according to Revelation 9:14-15, have been imprisoned beneath its waters for centuries. Release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. And the four angels who had been kept ready for this very hour and day and month and year were released to kill a third of mankind. This passage describes a time when these powerful beings, once divine, but later cast down for their rebellion, will be set free. Their purpose? To bring destruction upon the earth, unleashing a catastrophe unlike anything seen before. For centuries, this prophecy has remained a mystery. But now, with the Euphrates drying up and strange discoveries being made within its riverbed, some believe that the long-awaited moment is drawing near. Could the vanishing waters be the final barrier keeping these angels bound? And if they are released, what horrors will they bring upon humanity? Celestial signs and unfolding prophecy. As if the unsettling discoveries within the Euphrates were not enough, the heavens themselves appear to be sending warnings. A blood moon, a celestial event often linked to divine judgment, is set to occur on March 14th, casting an eerie red globe across the night sky. Throughout history, blood moons have been regarded as omens, signaling great shifts, upheavals, and even the wrath of God. In Joel 2:31 it is written, "The sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon to blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord comes." Similarly, Revelation 6:12 describes a time when the moon will turn red, The earth will quake, and the world will be shaken to its core. Could this upcoming blood moon be part of a divine timeline? A warning that something unprecedented is about to take place? And how does it tie into the vanishing Euphrates and the ominous discoveries being made there? The rise of the Antichrist and the coming deception. Many biblical scholars believe that as these signs unfold, they pave the way for the arrival of a figure long prophesied, the Antichrist. Described as a charismatic and powerful leader, the Antichrist will emerge in a time of global turmoil, offering solutions to the world's greatest problems. He will promise peace, stability, and unity, but beneath his facade lies a far more sinister purpose. The Bible warns that the Antichrist will not only deceive the nations, but will seek to establish absolute control, demanding loyalty and worship. Could the current state of the world, the wars, the economic collapse, the fear and uncertainty, be the perfect setting for his rise? And could the drying of the Euphrates, the unearthing of ancient symbols of evil, and the alignment of celestial events be signs that his arrival is imminent? A world on the brink. With each passing day, more signs seem to appear, each one aligning eerily with biblical prophecy. Some dismiss these occurrences as coincidences or natural events, but for those who have studied Scripture, the warnings are impossible to ignore. The Euphrates River, once a thriving source of life, is now fading, revealing long-buried secrets and possibly unsealing prophetic events. The serpent skeleton, the legendary sword of Goliath, the foreboding blood moon, and the whispers of an ancient evil stirring beneath the earth, all seem to be pieces of a larger puzzle. If these are truly the signs of the times, then humanity stands at a crossroads. Are we prepared for what is to come? Are we watching, listening, and understanding the warnings given to us? Or will we continue to ignore them, dismissing them as mere superstition, until it is too late? The final question. As we gaze upon a world unraveling before our eyes, one question lingers. Are we on the brink of the fulfillment of Revelation? If the drying of the Euphrates is a sign, if the serpent is an omen, if the blood moon is a warning, then what comes next? The answer may soon be revealed. The only question that remains is, are we ready? As the Euphrates continues to shrink, the world around it seems to be caught in an unstoppable spiral of chaos. Wars erupt in distant lands, the global economy trembles under the weight of uncertainty, and nature itself appears to be turning against humanity. The news is filled with reports of earthquakes, unprecedented storms, and plagues sweeping across continents. Every day, another crisis unfolds, adding to the growing sense that something monumental is about to take place. For those who study biblical prophecy, none of this is surprising. The scriptures have long warned that before the final judgment, the world will experience birth pangs, signs and warnings that foreshadow the great tribulation to come. The Gospel of Matthew 24, 6-8 echoes these warnings. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. Are we now witnessing these birth pangs? As tensions rise between world powers, as economic collapse looms, and as nature itself seems to be rebelling, many wonder, how close are we to the moment when prophecy will fully unfold? With the Euphrates drying at an unprecedented rate, what was once buried beneath its waters is now being revealed. The shocking discovery of a giant serpent skeleton has already sent waves of fear through believers and researchers alike. But what if this is only the beginning? Archaeologists and local residents have uncovered more than just the skeletal remains of a mysterious creature. In recent weeks, strange structures, forgotten artifacts, and even markings resembling ancient inscriptions have been found along the cracked riverbed. Some of these carvings appear to depict beings that do not resemble any known civilization's gods or historical figures. Could these be remnants of a long-lost knowledge? Perhaps a warning from the past? Even more unsettling are the whispers from those living near the Euphrates. Some claim to have heard eerie sounds at night, echoing from the riverbed, low, guttural noises, unlike any animal known to roam the area. Others speak of strange occurrences, flickering lights appearing over the dried river, unexplained tremors, and even shadowy figures seen at a distance. For those who believe in the prophecy of Revelation 9:14-15, these strange happenings serve as a grim reminder. Release the 4 angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates, and the 4 angels who had been kept ready for this very hour, and day and month and year, were released to kill 1/3 of mankind. If these fallen angels are indeed real, then what happens when their prison, hidden beneath the Euphrates for ages, is finally exposed? A new discovery. Beneath the riverbed, one of the most significant finds in the drying Euphrates has baffled experts, a massive stone structure, unlike anything found in the region before. Partially buried beneath layers of sediment, the structure appears to resemble an altar, weathered by time, yet eerily intact. Markings on its surface seem to depict scenes of offerings, but the figures carved into the stone appear grotesque, their eyes hollow, their forms twisted. Some scholars have suggested that these depictions bear an uncanny resemblance to ancient descriptions of fallen angels, those who once walked the earth before they were bound in chains. Could this be a site of an ancient ritual? A place where humanity once interacted with forces beyond their understanding? And if so, could its sudden reemergence be another warning, another sign that the world is approaching a pivotal moment? As these discoveries unfold, the sky itself seems to bear witness. A blood moon, foretold in the scriptures as a sign of divine intervention, is set to appear in just days. In biblical history, celestial signs have often been harbingers of monumental change. In Luke 21:25-26, Jesus himself warns of the significance of cosmic disturbances. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. People will faint from terror, apprehensive of what is coming on the world, for the heavenly bodies will be shaken. If the upcoming blood moon aligns with the other apocalyptic signs unfolding, the drying of the Euphrates, the discovery of the serpent skeleton, the possible uncovering of an ancient altar, what does it mean for the world? Some prophecy watchers believe this celestial event could signal the beginning of something irreversible. Perhaps it is a warning that time is running out. As these signs unfold, another troubling pattern emerges, an increasing shift in global governance and control. In times of uncertainty, the world looks for a leader, someone to offer stability, hope, and solutions. The Bible warns that in the last days, such a figure will rise, a powerful and charismatic leader who will deceive the masses. Revelation 13:16-17 describes how this leader will gain control. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast, or the number of its name. With rapid advancements in technology, digital surveillance, and global economic shifts, some are beginning to wonder, are we inching closer to a world where this prophecy becomes reality? The Euphrates drying up, celestial signs appearing, lost relics surfacing, and world leaders positioning themselves for greater power. Are these unrelated events, or are they part of a larger divine timeline? With each passing day, the signs grow stronger. The Euphrates River, once a lifeline for millions, now stands as a monument to prophecy. The discoveries within its drying bed, symbols of a lost time, creatures beyond explanation, and the whispers of something ancient stirring, only add to the growing fear that we are entering an age unlike any before. The world is changing, darkness is rising, and the warnings have been given. Yet despite everything, many remain unaware, distracted by the chaos of daily life, ignoring the signs that have been foretold for thousands of years. If prophecy is unfolding before our eyes, if the drying of the Euphrates is a message, if the blood moon is a warning, then what comes next? Are we on the verge of an event that will change the world forever? Or have we already stepped into the pages of Revelation? The truth may soon be revealed.